So what's really important about this settlement is that it shows that the CFTC has got jurisdiction over even non-US crypto trading platforms. In total, the CFTC penalties are $2.85 billion, and that includes a $150 million individual penalty against CZ, as well as a number of compliance, remediation, and undertakings. So I think what this settlement demonstrates is that it ought to be crystal clear that the CFTC is going to pursue its Dodd-Frank authorities globally around the world to the fullest extent, and that even if you are outside the United States, you still may be required to register with the CFTC, particularly if you have US persons on your trading platform. So it really demonstrates that there are no limits to how the CFTC views its jurisdiction around the world. So countering the financing of terrorism and countering illicit finance is one of the top priorities, of course, for regulators like the CFTC. And so in these parallel enforcement actions with the Department of Justice and with the US Department of Treasury, it shows that the regulators are going to be very, very severe in the penalties. And again, that there's nothing that the US regulators can't reach when it comes to countering the financing of terrorism and illicit finance. Well, I think everybody's agreed that we have to have strong and robust enforcement of our anti-money laundering laws as well as our sanctions. So everybody's agreed on that. And I think when it comes to financial services, my view is that if you have products that are just tokenized financial products or services, then the same laws and regulations apply as to any other financial instrument. So it's the same activity, the same risk, and the same regulation. What I think is more interesting is when we're talking about non-financial activities. So Bitcoin, for example, the CFTC first said that Bitcoin was a commodity in 2015. And I think when you look at what some commercial companies are doing with digital engagement and with customer engagement using NFTs, as well as utility tokens, I think that's an area where there could be greater clarity in the United States. But again, these are commercial activities, so they would not fall under financial regulation. So last year for the CFTC's fiscal year 2023 results, not only did the CFTC have in total over $3 or $4 billion in penalties, but almost half of the actions that the CFTC brought were in the crypto sector for fraud or other violations. So I do think, particularly with the CFTC's recent enforcement advisory, you're going to see continued focus on aggressively prosecuting any potential violations of our laws and rules.